Hello there, Flying Fox and Bio Productions here, welcome back to another video. And I did say that I was going to make this video only if 3 of my Fox Travels vlogs will get like 300 views. But after seeing my YouTube shorts and seeing how many, like the amount of views that my vlogs get via shorts, like the views that I get on when I post like clips from my vlogging videos into like YouTube shorts, they do get very good amount of views. Like most of them even get like over 1,000 views, and some if lucky might get 2,000 views. So I decided that, you know what, since I practically did get enough views on my vlogs via shorts, I figured that I'm just going to make this video So I'm going to be counting down my top 5 favorite British Standard Gauge steam locomotives, and I've already done a video like this probably about like a year or so ago, but that was like pretty much awful, and it was just not scripted, and it was very bland and horrible, and I just wasn't a big fan of it. And my opinions have changed drastically. There have been some of these, some of my favorites have changed quite a bit, so I hope you will enjoy this video, and I hope this video will get loads of views. I mean, if it ever doesn't, then, you know, at least I get some views, so, in one way or another. So, yeah, I can't wait to do this, you know, I've been waiting to do a list of, counting down of my top 5 listy or whatever, so we're going to go from good and work our way to the best. So our 5th place will be like good, and the 1st place will be like the best. So the engine that's going to be in 1st place is going to be my number 1 favorite steam locomotive. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. 5th place, the Great Western Railway 2900 same class. These vintage Great Western locomotives were designed from 1902 to 1913 at Swindon Works by George Jackson Churchward. The majority of them were 460s, but 13 of the same were built as 442 Atlantics, but they were converted to 460s in 1912. I do like the Atlantics, but I always prefer the 10-wheelers. They look more conventional in my own opinion. The same class were very successful steam engines and proved to be very revolutionary for their time, and worked primarily for express, passenger and heavy goods duties until the early 50s. Sadly, all of the Great Western Railway Saints were scrapped in 1953 at Swindon, but their legacy lives on in the form of number 2999 Lady of Legend, a new built Saint class that was completed in 2019, and she currently lives at Didcot Railway Centre. The reason why I like the GWR Saint class is because for a class of steam locomotive that was built during like the very early years of the 20th century, they almost look like they were not built at that time period and look more like engines that were built from the 1920s to the 1940s. I mean, hell, they were the inspiration for the Colette 4900 Hall class. I also love their style of cab, and yes, even though the cab is quite small and doesn't have that much space to move around for crews, I think it works well for this type of locomotive. Now, there are loads of different styles of the Saint class, such as the Atlantics, and some of the Saints even had smooth running boards, and some of them even wore collet tenders, but my personal favorite style of the GWR Saint class will always be the 460 with the straight step-like front running board and a churchward tender, which is the style that Lady of Legend has. Even though there are more engines that I like over this class, I still think the GWR Saint class are peak Great Western steam locomotives, and I'm very happy that the new build carries on their legacy. Number 4. The BR Standard Class 5MT and Class 7 Britannia Pacific. I decided to put these two on the same spot because I practically have the same views and opinions for these modern steam engines. The 5MTs and Britannias were both built at Crew Works by Robert Riddles in the early 50s as part of the standard range of steam locomotives that were designed during the BR era of steam. They were both designed as mixed traffic engines, which means that they could haul both goods and passenger trains. Both the BR Standard 5MTs and Standard 7MT Britannias were very versatile and reliable locomotives, doing most of their work with ease. Sadly, their lifespan was rather short-lived though, as dieselization occurred in the 1960s. The 5MTs and Britannias were not really much needed, and withdrawals began taking place. Out of the 172 BR Standard 5MTs, only 5 of them survived in the preservation, and out of the 55 BR Standard 7 Britannias, only 2 of them survived in the preservation. Now, the reason why I like both of these BR Standards is because they look so buff and beefy in my opinion, particularly the Standard 5MTs. I mean, these guys are basically the LMS Scania Black 5s on steroids, and I'm not kidding when I say that. These locos look way more better than the Black 5s, trying to change my mind. Not to mention, another reason why I like them is because of their reliability, and I'm quite sad that only 2 of the Britannias survived in the preservation, that being number 70000 Britannia, number 70013 Oliver Cromwell, but at least we have 2 instead of none. So the BR Standard 5MTs and Standard 7 Britannias are underrated modern steam engines that definitely deserve more praise and attention. Number 3. The GWR 4073 Castle Class and 6000 King Class. Yes, I know, this is another section where I put 2 engines on the same spot. Maybe this title should have been titled my top 7 favourite British Standard Gauge steam locomotives, but whatever. Both the Castle and King Class were classes of big and fast 460 express engines that were built in the 1920s at Swindon Works by the Great Western Railway to the design of Charles Collett. They were built to be powerful, fast, and reliable steam engines for the Great Western Railway's prestigious express passenger services, and both these classes were very successful. Unfortunately, the King classes were not as successful as the Castle class, but they were still useful. The Castle class was so successful, in fact, that it became the most successful steam locomotive to be ever built by the GWR, and it still is the case to this very day. Sadly, with dieselization occurring in the 1960s, both the Castle and King class were sent to Barry Island Scrapyard in South Wales, and out of the 171 GWR Castles, only 8 survive in the preservation, and out of the 31 GWR King class, only 3 survive in the preservation. Now, the reason why I like both of these engines is pretty obvious. They are both large, and I like large locos. They are express engines, and as you know me, I love express engines. And they are both from the Great Western Railway, and the GWR is my favourite railway company out of the big 4. I also love their steam chest design. In my opinion, that steam chest just makes them look more elegant and more express engine-like in a weird way. Back then, I used to like the Castles more than the Kings, but ever since I went to Didcot Railway Centre for the event with Flying Scotsman and Pendennis Castle, and saw the King class they had then, number 6023 King Edward II, it made me realise that the amount of praise I give the King class is the same amount of praise that you give to the Castle class, and that is why both the GWR Castle and King class are in the same spot. They are both elegant, very good to look at, and they are true Great Western marvels. Number 2. The LNER Gresley A4 Pacifics. Yes, guys, I know this class of steam locomotive is very overrated as hell, and there are loads and loads of people that do love this class, but I still adore the LNER Class A4 all the same. Now, this class of steam engine needs no introduction, since most of you likely all know about this engine already, but if not, LNER Gresley A4 Pacific was a class of streamlined 462 Pacific steam engines that were designed at Doncaster Works in the 1930s to the design of the famous Sir Nigel Gresley, the same man who designed the world-famous Flying Scotsman. They were designed to be powerful and very fast steam locomotives, and they were very successful at their intended duties. The A4s would haul non-stop express services from London to the north section of England, and sometimes even further into Scotland. and in 1936, number 4468 Mallard broke the world land speed record for steam engines and reached a speed of over 126 miles an hour, faster than any other steam engine in the world, and that record has never been beaten to this very day. But I did hear that the new built PRR-T1 duplex number 5550 in America might be able to break Mallard's record, but we'll just have to see. The A-Force carried their title as being one of the most successful steam engines to be ever built by the LNER, and out of the 35 A4s that were built, only 6 of them survived the preservation, and 2 of them are not even in the UK. The reason why I like the LNER Grizzly A4 so much is because of their style of streamlining. It makes them look almost like one of these modern high-speed trains that run today. I wouldn't be surprised if their style did inspire the high-speed train design. Now, this might be a very controversial opinion here, but I personally prefer the A4s being double chimney and not having the side skirts. I know the side skirts do look cool and I really do love them, but I personally prefer them without their skirts. As overrated as the LNER A4s are, they are without a doubt one of the most iconic steam engines I've ever known. Now before we get into my number 1, I like to go for some honourable mentions, and buckle up because this list is quite long, so here we go. The GWR 6959 Modified Hall Class. I prefer these engines over the Collett Halls. LNER Thompson A2 Stroke 3, the only Thompson Pacific that I actually like. At least I prefer these guys over the Bully Leader, that's for damn sure.
I like them big, I like them chunky, I like them big.
GWR Hawksworth 1000 County Class 460. I love seeing these locos with double chimney and with that long splasher. Beautiful, peak engines. The BR Standard 4NT 264T. Okay, I have a weakness here, and that weakness is big tank engines. GNR/LNER Grizzly A1 Pacific with the GNR Stult tender. GWR Hawksworth 94XX Pannier tank, my favorite Pannier tank engine. Changed my mind. LSWR Drummond's T9440, one of the most base pre-grouping engines. Southern Railway N15 King Arthur class. I prefer these guys over the S15s because they are express engines, and I love express engines. SR Monsell V Sculpt class. This is the most powerful 440 in the UK, if not the whole of Europe. How can I not like this class of engine? LNER Grizzly P2 282 Mikado. I will always admire their sheer power, size, and looks. The P2s are awesome, and the A2 Stroke 2 sucks. LNER Peppercorn A1 Pacific. These smoke deflectors just work so well on this type of design. Love them. LMS Fairbairn 264T. I do love a big good tank engine. SR Monsell W class. Basically the tank engine version of the U class, and that's why I like them. GWR 52XX280T. A British consolidation tank engine. Need I say more? GWR 47XX Night Owl. Underrated freighters that really need more love and attention. WD Austerity 280. Why, oh why did only one of them survive the preservation? They are the most mass-produced steam locomotives in the UK, for crying out loud. The BR Standard 4NT 460. I know these guys do look basic, but I still like them all the same, especially the ones with double chimney. LMS Rebuilt Patriot class. Oh my god, these smoke deflectors, it just works so well with that style of engine. It makes them look so attractive and elegant. GWR 5101 Large Prairie 262T. It's another large tank engine, how can I not like it? LSWR Adams T3. This is an all-time classic, a proper vintage express engine. LMS Unstreamlined Princess Coronation class. I know the streamlined ones look cool and all, but I do prefer the unstreamlined ones. That's just my own opinion. They just look more buff and more powerful. LNER Thompson / Peppercorn K1 Mogul. I barely see anyone talk about this engine. Why does this not have that much attention? GWR 4575 Small Prairie 262T. Whenever I think of a small peaceful Great Western branch line, these engines always come to my mind. And not to mention one of them has been to Poland, so that's another reason why I like them. LMS Stania Jubilee class. They are basically the passenger version of the Black Flag, and that's what I like about them. GWR Churchwood 3800 County Class 440. Even though I do prefer the Hawks of Counties, I still find these engines to be quite unique. BR Standard 6NT Clans. I know these were not the most successful engines in the BR Standard range, but when the new build clan is complete, I do hope that these guys get more love and attention. And my number one favorite Britsh Standard Gauge steam engine is the SR Bullied Merchant Navy Pacific. Yep, I bet most of you saw that coming from a mile away. The SR Merchant Navy was a class of 30 462 Pacific steam locomotives designed at Eastleigh Works from 1941 to 1949 by Oliver Bully, the same man who designed the similar looking Light Pacifics and the same man who created the most god-awful thing in the entire world, which he called the Leader. Now, when they first rolled out of the works, they all had a very odd and unique look to them. They had a very boxy, almost streamlined look, which were called air smooth casings. This odd design gave them the nickname Spam Cans. Needless to say, this design was not the best for crews because of poor visibility from the cab and the high risk of fires within the casing. They carried that design until the late 50s when they were all rebuilt to look more conventional and more easy for crews to use. They were designed to haul fast and long-distance express trains along the southern region of England, and after their rebuilds they were largely successful. And most of their flaws have been fixed and they became more reliable and more comfortable for the crews. Except for their wheel slips, which is a very common reputation that all of the Bullied Pacifics had. The Merchant Navy's main cruising speeds were up to 60 to 70 miles per hour, but on May 15th of 1965, number 35005 Canadian Pacific reached the speeds of up to 105 miles an hour on a run from London Waterloo to Basingstoke, making her the fastest Merchant Navy, if not the fastest steam engine in the whole of the Southern Railway. Sadly, in the 1960s, when diesel engines came to the picture on British railways, withdrawals began taking place in 1964 when number 35002 Union Castle and number 35015 Rotterdam Lloyd became the first two merchant navies to be withdrawn and be sent to Barry Scrapyard in South Wales. Out of the 30 Merchant Navy class, a good 11 of them survived from the preservation, and one of them, number 35028 Clandline, which is my favorite out of the Merchant Navies, is one of the most famous steam railtour runners in the 21st century. Now, the reason why the SR Bullied Merchant Navy class is my favorite class of Britsh Standard Gauge steam locomotive is because they are very unique in my own opinion. Before I get into them, the reason why I prefer the Merchant Navies over the Light Pacifics or West Country / Battle of Britain class is because they are more rarer than the Light Pacifics. Only 30 Merchant Navies were built, and 110 Light Pacifics were built. Not to mention, the Merchant Navies were a bit bigger and heavier, and you know me, I like big engines. And also, I do prefer the nameplate styles of the Merchant Navy class than on the West Country / Battle Britain class. With those out of the way, one big reason why I like the SR Merchant Navy class and the entire Bullied Pacific fleet in general is how unique they are. Yes, their spouting can conditions did make them look a bit odd and uncomfortable for crews, but I personally do like that style. It's a style that I don't think any other class of British steam engine has ever used. I also love the design of the wheels. Most steam locomotives have this sort of like line pattern across the wheels, but the Bullied Pacifics have these sort of like balloon-like spokes. And that kind of design looks really cool and almost looks like something you'd see in an art gallery. It's brilliant. And not to mention, I absolutely adore the hooter whistles that these engines have. It's one of the most romantic sounding steam whistles I've ever heard on a steam locomotive, especially for a British one. So yeah, the SR Merchant Navy Pacifics are my number one favorite British steam engine, if not my favorite steam engine in the entire world. They may not be everyone's cup of tea, but their uniqueness and style is what makes me adore them so much. And that's it. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Like the video, subscribe, blah blah blah, you know the drill. I don't really have to go through all that since you pretty much know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Yep. See you later.